Okay, thank you for watching here on YouTube at Blooming Light, at Bloomy Tribe. This is a collective message, and of course, this is not going to be for everybody. Okay, so if this ain't about you and if it ain't relevant to you, your life, and your story, guess what? That's all okay. And I actually, if you're a decent being in this universe, I hope it ain't your story. Okay, if you are sincerely a good person, I hope this is not your story. But some of you honorable, empowered feminines could have recently found out. Okay, you may have already found out, most of you, or this is something that may be in the making. Okay, I don't know how you got wind of the information, how this comes about. I haven't done a spread on this, but the message is it's sisters. It's two sisters and a mother. Okay, so, okay, how does this apply? You already know, honorable feminine, empowered feminine, that you've been targeted, okay, in a community. Now, this has spanned it from your own origins, where you come from, meaning, the people who raised you, to your own blood, whatever that, may be. You already knew, okay, that you've been targeted, but this is something that has followed and migrated, okay, and it morphed and it branched off into all sorts of weirdy subsector groups, okay. Some of these people are connected to your origins and some of them aren't, okay, but many of them are. Okay. In this case, it's not even really clear whether or not these two sisters and mother is necessarily connected, honorable feminine, to your people or not. That part is not clear. But they are connected to your exes. It has something to do with an ex. It has something to do with an ex, and for some of you, property managers. Okay. And they're sisters. It's two sisters and a mom, and they all wear like the same hair. Okay, and what do I mean? Like, y'all, somebody's gonna say, what do you mean? Well, it's because oftentimes mother and sisters don't necessarily wear the same hair, right? Like from where I come from, we're different. We're very different. Okay, we're way different. We're different from each other, and that's not a good or bad thing. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just simply saying that if you were to bunch us up in a room at one time, you know what I'm saying, then you would clearly see, like, oh, this one kind of, that's her little get up, that's her style. This one, she, like, you'll see it. It'll be something that you can clearly see. Well, with these sisters and the mom, they share similar style. Like, they don't look much different. And I'm not talking about their features. They may have different features, different shapes and stuff, but they wear the same hair. So let's say they're all natural. Then the sisters and the mom would be, they would have, and then again, so don't trip, people out there. This ain't judging stuff. We're talking about giving a description, okay? So they may wear twisties, they may wear dreads, braids, even braids, something like that. And highly religious. Okay, the mom might be more religious than her children, but they all kind of claim it. The older sister may be in law enforcement, I believe. Okay, out of the two, the older, I could be wrong, but whoever this is for, the older one is in law enforcement of sorts. Whether this mean they could be an administrator in law enforcement, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're on the street, getting bad guys, but they're in law enforcement in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay. And the sisters live in the same apartment complex. The mother possibly used to work at that apartment complex. They are also connected to individuals in Beaumont Housing Authority, if it's Beaumont. Wherever you are, Housing Authority. Okay? Wherever your story is playing out. Okay? Now, with that, okay, this is connected to some of you all's your exes and they people. You see how this is spidering off into all sorts of directions. Okay. Now, they also have friends within that same complex that they have recruited. See, what's you're about to be told, if you haven't been told already, because for some of you feminines, you've already gotten this information. Okay? That for some of you, that's some of what's been going on. Yes, you have it going on a macro scale where you got Confederate flag motherfuckers and, you know, all sorts of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So you do have it on a larger scale. That's why I said this thing has branched off into different subsectors, because it's different groups. Okay? And not all of them are connected, and not all of them are connected to your kinfolk either. A lot of them are, no doubt. Okay, a lot of them are. That's the grand secret that you possibly will find out. You ain't shocked at this point, because you're like, they trash, you know. You're like, yeah, they trash. They obsessed trash, pretend to not be obsessed trash. Okay, so, but for this collective message, this is specifically pertaining to the sisters and the mother. Okay, they all live or lived, because it depends on when you're hearing this and where you're at that time. Okay, they all live or lived in the same complex as you or your children, or anywhere that you had to be and frequent every day. Okay, where you've had to spend nights, lots of time there, whatever the reason is. Okay, yes sir. Is it making more sense now? Is it becoming clear? Chances are over time you've caught all of these people, because first and foremost, you're more observant than people give you credit, but you like it that way because it makes people slip up. If they think you ditzy and dizzy and that you don't know what the hell is going on, it makes them slip up. And you've already seen them talk amongst each other, the mother and possibly the oldest daughter that's in the law enforcement. And you've seen the eldest daughter speak to the youngest one, which the youngest one may be the one that had a thing with an ex. Okay, that part ain't clear either as to, well, nigga, who had the thing with the nigga? Shit, you know. Hell, I wouldn't be. Okay, don't do that. I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna let it go. Neither here nor there. So now, meanwhile, now here's the kicker. So can you see how this became a collaborative effort utilizing, you see the branches? If it's housing authority, landlords, okay, the person, the sister, you know, then the religious mama, and you know all of that. You see it? And you might, there may be even more layers, because if the mother is married, the daddy depend if the mother is married, okay, and if that is the sibling's father or their stepdad, if whatever the case may be, if this is somebody that they themselves are in law or in the military. Yeah, now do you see where this is going? when we talk about the exploitation of things. This is why people will be comfortable. See, you're going to start to realize that people are only going to be comfortable. I'm telling you what I learned. I promise you. People are only going to be comfortable showing their ass because they think they have protection. I'm going to say it like that. Ain't nobody that bad, honey. People are only comfortable showing their ass because they think they have protection. And why would they think they have protection? Why would they be confident of that? I know sometimes, our grandiose and arrogance could, but it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Because even when people be on that shit, if they ain't got no ties and connections, at some point, they gonna go on to some other obsession. Because ain't nobody trying to fuck up they get up. Ain't nobody trying to do that. Okay? For no vendetta, for no vengeance, for no amount of nothing. They'll go on to something else to obsess about. At some point, it'll fizz out and dissipate because the person will somehow, a part of them will go, okay, I gotta pull ranks. I gotta pull back because I can end up getting, and it ain't that serious behind somebody that don't even really know me, that, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So the only reason why is because of ties. This is all coming out. You probably, depending on when you hear this, you already got the information. This is why you've seen them like synchronize, call one, or there it appears to be that they're calling somebody or texting, and lo and behold, this one appears, like stuff like that. Because they're possibly they either did or are surrounding. So one is on one side of where you be, and one is on the other side, opposite end. And they have friends. So this could be the people that's above you or your children or wherever you it's all tying in. We gonna tie this in. We're gonna tie it in together. I promise. Ain't nobody that tough. Nobody. The only reason why people do that because they think they got the inside track with a dirty cop. They think they have the inside track. Friends, it's my sister, it's my daughter, it's my home girl, it's my, with a cop, and they could, whoop-de-woo. They're going to find out differently if they haven't already. But this is something that you're getting information on. All of this is necessary. This is inevitable because, again, this was people's personal issues that had no place in their particular sectors and functions. So the daughter, that's the police, she ought to be ashamed of herself. If she ain't the one that fucked the nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it like this. Even if she is. Because see, listen, check it. It comes to a point in life, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be a family and, you know what I'm saying? But it comes to a point where you got a crazy ass sister, bitch. Don't be acting like you don't know this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? She hoeing. I'm sorry if that's not fitting for you all's family barbecue. But don't get over here on this shit. Don't become a stalker and violating the laws that you took oaths to uphold. At some point, it comes to a point where you're supposed to be mature enough to deal with your family in a different way if you're not yourself directly vested and involved in some bullshit. It comes a point where you have to go that ain't why I work here, nigga. Okay, that ain't why that ain't why I became a cop for your ass and shiznit. This is not a good look. Okay, I'm sorry the nigga played you. I'm sorry the nigga, you know what I'm saying, used you, broke your heart, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. That's a personal thing. That's personal. It has no place here. We have no business violating this person's privacy. We foul as fuck. No business whatsoever. And then want to be some rule pushing bitch at the same time. I can't be both. I can't be going around trying to be a pusher of the law onto those I don't like, and then for my mama and my sister and a nigga I'm fucking with, or whatever the case may be, then I'll blink and I'll look the other way. Or I'll call in some favors. I know they loopy as hell. I know they out here like that. Love them, but the truth is what the truth is. And I know whoever they own tripping on right now, that lady, this man, whoever this is not their problem. And if we don't like this person, we don't have no business on their social media to begin with then. If we have a problem with who they are, we shouldn't even be there. Ain't nobody told us to take our happy ass over there then. If we don't like what they're about, what they think, what they're saying, what they believe, their opinions, then we shouldn't be there. That's a part of the problem. We're stalkers, and then we want to uphold and push the law. We're violating privacy, and then want to go around waving the badge and pointing at walls and talking about what rules is and shit. Disgusting. It's just disgusting. And listen, if they are connected to your trashy family, honorable feminine, then this is about to get even better. This is about to get even better. Because if they doing shit for them hoes, they might as well go ahead and get their little affairs in order. They might as well say goodbye to their pension. Say goodbye to their little high honor that they might as well just go ahead and start kissing it. And you know what's sad? In the dynamic that we're talking about here, what's going to be sad? The sister, perhaps the younger one, okay, that's maybe got a lot of kids, little ones, okay, that could have had something possibly with somebody that you had something with in the past. Once again, this ain't your problem. If this older sister, if it comes out in the wash and this really gets that bad, and whoever these law people are end up really screwed and fucking themselves because of all this, guess what's really fucked? The younger one, because chances are they don't have no sense of direction. Okay, for whatever reason. We're not going to get into that. Okay? And they don't really lose much. It's like if they are already, that's what be fucked up about a lot of this shit. And I didn't warn people for years. I'm like, okay, go on, keep going. Just keep at it. Keep going. You're going to be real pissed one day. You're going to be real mad because you done stuck your neck out. You done done some bullshit trying to please your family, trying to look like a savior and a badass and try to, flex your muscle and all of that, proving the woo-de-woo. And then it's your ass going up shit's creeks because the higher responsibility is going to always come down to the motherfucker that's in a position. It's going to always be that, especially law. So when the rubber meets the road, you done fucked yourself, but they didn't have shit anyway, honey. But a couple of 2-bit jobs, you know what I'm saying, here and there. You know what I'm saying? Woo. Now you didn't build yourself a career. You didn't build yourself something. You didn't took out the time for whatever reason. You didn't manage to be able to do it. But you didn't fucked yourself behind a nigga, behind your sister's nigga, behind religious and philosophical bents and personal issues that has no place in the professional world. It has no place in mortgage industry. It has no place in real estate. It has no place in housing authority. It has no place in apartment ownership or their management. It has no place there. The tools that are being granted these agencies are not to be exploited for personal bents. I'm nosy. I feel. You feel, huh? You feel? Well, I don't trust them. Nobody needed you to. Do your damn job. Nobody asked you to. You ain't trustworthy, obviously, because your asses is doing shit you ain't got no business. You're allowing your emotions, your personal issues to influence your professionalism. You're allowing your religiosity to influence the way you would conduct in any other circumstance. That's a problem. And it's going to be a costly one. If it hasn't already, it is a very costly one, because it comes out that they're sisters, that they're in the same complex, and that people all knew that. I wonder what the courts are going to have to say about that. I wonder what the courts are going to have to say about the people in positions of leadership knowing full well about the relations of the people surrounding the collective or their children in terms of placement, friendships, siblings, past landlords. I wonder what the courts are going to have to say about that. The collectives, ex-lovers, friends and family connections with all of these individuals. Baby mamas and so forth. I wonder what the courts are going to have to say about that. When they then start looking at the noisemakers and the dirty diapers and the people following the collective around, pretending to not be. And then let me just share this to help some of you that obviously you're going to need it. And it just is what it is. They bank on ignorance of a lot of these men. And when I talk like that, people think that I'm trying to be I'm really not trying to be funny or disrespectful. Not when I say that. See, the thing about Jezebel energy, if you can but for a moment come out of everything that you've learned in religious shit, because that's not the direction I'm going. Okay? Because most of them to be talking that shit there be the entity itself, bitch. And they don't even know it. Another day, another video. Now, see, the thing about that kind of energy, which can be embodied by a male form, but the thing about that energy is that it's preys on the lack of masculinity in a masculine. And it also preys on their ignorance, their dumbness, okay, their lack of intelligence in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. They can be smart in their own right in a different way. They're going to exploit what they know to be a weak part. Okay, so let's say the man is, let's say they're smart. Let's say they know. Let's say they're smart in their own way. They blue collar. Okay. Let's say they can figure out anything. Like if it's broke, they can fix it. Okay. Because that's a form of an intelligence. Okay. So, but let's say when it comes to like life and human psyche and those type, maybe they may not be as layered. They may be two-dimensional. And so what they'll do is something like this. I'm gonna give an example. So let's say something comes out and the masculine catches them or learns that, okay, you all are stalking this, you're still stalking this person, you're harassing this person, you all are still doing this, da 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 da. Didn't we say, da 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 da, that's it, I'm here, this is it, blah blah, what's the problem? What the fuck is y'all's problem? I ain't with this person, so what is your problem? You didn't want me with the person, I'm not with the person. What the fuck is your problem now? That's what you wanted? For all intensive purposes, you've won. So, what's your problem? And then, so, when they're crying, because when they piss off these men, because most of these men have a temper, okay, if you push them there. And out of, that desperation, they'd be like, okay, well, all right, I'm going to leave it alone. I was just, feeling myself or tripping and, it's just, whatever. And so you're right. I'm going to call it off. I'm going to tell, everybody to let it go. Leave the person alone. It's over with. It's done. Whatever. We're moving on to other projects, whatever. I'll tell them, because this person just want to move on, because the masculine might say, this lady is trying to move on. She don't want you. She don't want me. She don't want nothing about none of us. Shit. She do not care. She can care less. She can care less. Okay. Shit. So they'll be like, yeah, okay, okay, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna let it go. And then this is what they're gonna do. Let's say a month goes by. 2 months go by, and there's this appearance like they're really trying to make it seem as if they have went on to different projects. They're trying to steer clear of the honorable feminine or children. They're not they're trying to make it seem like they're absolutely done for, and whoever they were using, they're trying to make sure that looks clear and that they're absolutely done, and that, blase blase. So when something happens, honorable feminine ends up coming out, saying something, exposing something. then these men will go back and go, hey, you know, uh, that shit ain't stopped. People still on that shit. And then they'll say something, I'm not, how could I? How could it been me? You know, how could it been me? You're saying that she said, da, da, da. I was with you. I was with you. I was with you. We were with you. We were here. We were over there. How could it been? How? I must be magical because I must be, you know what I'm saying, in two places at one time, because how is that possible? I was right here. We were at the movies. We were at the hotel. We were at the restaurant. We was at your family's barbecue. We was at, we was this and that. How? Then the masculine will go, oh yeah. I'm giving y'all a story so you can follow how they exploit him. Okay? So he'll then say, oh yeah, because he's logical, right? So based on that logical argument, he's going to sit there and he's going to say, he's going to go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, well, yeah, we were over there at this date and time, and you were here, so okay, maybe that ain't got nothing to do with us. Maybe that's something to do with the other 1,000 haters that she has. You know what I'm saying? And they're snickling. Whoever these women are be snickling because they know, like, wow, like, okay, he don't understand that I can outsource. That, I know how to shuffle the cards and I know how to outsource. If I've been busted and the few that I was using prior has been busted, I know how to outsource to some other people to do my dirt for me. So that my hands, once again, looks clean. It looks like I have stopped doing what I've been doing, but I haven't. I just outsourced it. That's what Feminist Family been doing for a long time. So it makes it look like their hands clean, and it makes it look like it has nothing to do with them. That this is just something to do with some rando dude. No, their hands is all the way to fuck all up in it. This is one way to keep people off your track. Because most people are two-dimensional in their thinking. Sure. Oh, yeah, you were here. That's right. There's your alibi. That's why I said detectives and lieutenants and all that stuff, if they ain't, man, they finna get, they gonna eat them alive, nigga. Because you gotta be deeper than that. Gonna eat their ass alive. Oh, we have an alibi. Do ya? It's called outsourcing. They do it every day. When they figure out feminine is up on game, they shuffle the deck of cards. They start sending a bunch of teenagers. A bunch of kids. You want a lollipop? You know? Or the home girl. You know what I'm saying? They'll just start, like I said, they're going to shuffle the deck. I seen a bunch of folks today. I don't care because I'm on a different vibe. Like, I'm moving into a whole different vibe in shiznit. Okay? I did a little clowning within myself. I dropped a little bombs to fuck with their head. I did. While I was in the stores and stuff. I had a good time at that. I did. I sure did. I was like, and then I went back on to what I was giggling and doing prior. I sure did. But my focus is in a different space. They're wanting street theater. I know what they're doing now. I know 100%. They want street theater. Some of them are wondering, what did I do? There are some of these people that are following me around, tracking me, or whatever you want to call it, especially the higher up ones. They're wondering, because as they're doing this, I can almost sense it. Like, what did she do? What did she do? What did she do to her energy? It's harder to read. It's harder to pick up, to register it when we cue the sound, when we cue the sudden eruption of sound, the sudden sound, the revving up of a vehicle, when we bring around the truck with the flag, weird dude, when we, you know, when we do all of our regularly scheduled program shit, when the most when we do that, when we send somebody that we know she gonna pick up because she's too tuned in, we know it. We know that she gonna pick up. This is one of these retards. Here they come. When she can sense one of the degenerate witches that really should have sat down good and plenty and talked to their people before they got on their shit. About walking their little happy ass and being weird. So I told them today, I said it was under my voice, but I know they can hear me. Because, see, if they're gifted and they're into that stuff, then just as much as I know they're there, then they know. So for them, but it was very subtle. This was not something, in terms of, if you want to try to get an image of what that looked like, you wouldn't have even been able to tell. That's what I mean by that. You wouldn't have even been able to see that, because I'm doing this. I'm playing their game, okay? I'm playing their game my way. So it's not obvious. It's not like I'm loud and obnoxious, or going up to people. That ain't my vibe. Okay. But when they're trying to be this slick shit and follow me around aisles and all of that shit. So when I feel like it, that's when I'll drop a bomb. And I'll kind of smile and I'll just keep going. I'll say something like, "You're gonna die." I'll say something like, "This is ill-advised. You're gonna get cancer." Because, and here's why I do that. Because, listen carefully, this is only meant for those that are doing what they're doing. I have ongoing transmutation where things don't apply. It's to flop, it's to be alchemized in case of error. That's my saving grace. But these are people that have come from my life, much like the rest of the collective. You think they're coming in blowing rainbows? You think that's what they're up to? You think they're chanting rainbows or thinking rainbows or spring? No, no, no. No, no, no. I was told today, as I was doing some later today, when I was doing some rituals and stuff on myself, some clearings, and then I was told, like, a lot of this is like, a lot of that is just gossip. Some of it was official stuff, others of it was gossip. I was like, damn, are you kidding me? But gossip is baneful work. It's the same frequency. So, whoop, I showed it, and then I'll smile, be like, shit, told you, dumbass. And then I'll drop another bomb as I keep going through when I feel like it. Like, you can't help everybody. Some people, it's a glutton for a punishment. And you can almost, I can see the hatred. You know what's really super sad? Like, I can see it when I allow myself, because most of the time I won't even look at, because I'll be like, I don't even know what these things are anymore. I ain't even lying. That's how I feel. I'm like, I don't know, bitch. They got got by the bad alien. You know, some of us is good and some of us ain't. That's how they got bit. I'm like, I don't know what it is. What is it? These people don't even know me, but I can see. They don't even know me. But as I go about running across some of these people, I can see the hate in their face. They can't even hide it. They can't hide it. And some of these people, y'all don't think that all these people, I'm not just talking about the sisters and the mom here. I'm talking about, the people that I've run across. Don't, some of these people got money. Some of these people, they not looking mad faced because they're poor. You know what I'm saying? Because some people going to say, well, you struggling in life. Ain't nobody smiling. Well, some of these people ain't struggling in life. They're not struggling in life, but yet you can see. You can see the hatred. You can see the discontentedness. They're pretty. They got all the nice fancy things on. But you can see their hatred for me. Even as they try to act like they're not, it's like, whoa. Like, I caught a couple of them today. Look at me, and it was like, oh my God. And then I had some encounters where people were pleasant and nice. I have those too. Maybe some of the encounters I'm having with the nice ones, maybe some of them are the ones that's on my team. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Because there's some of them out here, y'all. And that's for y'all too. Depending on where you at. You have some federal level people that are around you that are not connected to any of these state level and city people. They already know it's corruption going on there. They already know the leadership is compromised. And they're in plain sight because they're doing their duty to, gather what they need to gather and possibly to bring these people in. Because some of these people might end up getting brought in on some other shit. Okay. So I know I went a little bit all over. Hope y'all were able to grab, it's all come together. So sometimes some of these delays, y'all, be because it's more information gathering, okay? Because if you're gonna file, especially those of you who are planning to sue or you're doing a RICO and all that, the more information you have, the better, okay? Because then they can look into it, okay? The more you can include for them to bring and call into question. You see that? That brings in a whole new element for some of you. And is going to cause a light to be shunned and make a lot more sense. People in a community being comfortable doing because they got an inside track with a cop. You don't even have to be Sherlock Holmes. You don't even have to be a rocket scientist to even figure that out. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you have an inside track with a cop. So that's why the community is comfortable with doing what the fuck they know they ain't got no business doing, because they think this cop is going to make sure that they can't get in trouble. And they ain't got that kind of weight. They're about to find this out.